In this lecture, we will talk about how we can create fields using Metadata API. In our earlier lecture, we have talked about how we can create the object along with the fields, either which is a name field that can be a type of text or auto number. The sole purpose of this lecture is to let you know how you can create a text field under an object which is already created and how you can create an external ID field. Here is a scenario which we are going to take is, again we are going to take the same example. You are working as a developer for a company which is developing an app exchange development and an app exchange package where the requirement is to create a custom field for the selected object from the UI. So this is a simple code for that. We have got the custom field, we already discussed about that, which is a class inside metadata service class. And then the custom field can have its API name, what is the label, the type of our custom field, some description, inline help text, length, and there are various more attributes which we can set based on the type of our custom field. So let's quickly see what actually it takes while we create a custom field. Suppose that we are inside the object that we have just created, Udemy integration auto number. If you click on new under the custom fields and relationship, the very first step is required to choose a data type. We are talking about text. We'll select text. We'll talk about this lookup master detail. We'll also talk about auto number text area fields as well. Now it is going to ask some additional parameter from you. So now it is asking few more information from you. The label of the field, what is the length, because you have selected text. The description, help text, either it is required, it is unique, it is external ID, or if you wanted to set some default value. So these are the few parameters that it is asking from you to provide. Okay, so that is what we have given. We have created a new object, new method inside our class metadata util, which is accepting two parameters. One is the API name, one is field label, the object API name. And then usually we established the connection, and then we created the object of custom field, provided the full name. So what actually happens behind the scene when you create a field under an object? Suppose that you create a field under an object and the object name is account and the field name is, let's say that you created a field called active. So behind the scene, Salesforce stores the field like this. It says that account dot active, and that is the full name of your field. That is what you need to provide when you create your field. So how we will provide here? We will say that now this is going to be the object API name dot. This is going to be dot, and then spaces with a underscore, and then we are going to append underscore underscore c. This time it should be field label. Okay, now we have prepared the full name. The label we already have. This time we are going to dynamically refer from this. The type is going to be text because this method is mainly for creating a text field. And then you have some description, you have some inline help text, and there are various parameters that we can do, that we can send. Now suppose that you wanted to make this field as required, so you need to provide another attribute. What is that attribute? We need to find the custom field class, and then once we are there, we just need to find out what that attribute inside that class is, which is again required. So we can just go to your custom field, we can select custom field dot required, and we'll say true. Okay, there might be some reason or not reason, some cases where you wanted to provide the length of your field which is less than 255, like 40. You can provide anything, so I'm just saying that 40, or you can say 6, which is going to hold the zip code. Okay, and then there are a few things you wanted to make this field as unique. You can also go there and then find the field name which is unique, custom field dot required, and then we can say that unique. That means the field cannot contain the duplicate value inside that particular object for any of those records. And then again, if you wanted to make is as external ID, so for that you definitely have a field. Yeah, it is external ID. That is the boolean value, so we can just use this. Instead of unique, we can say external ID. Now we have prepared our fields. We don't need, there might be some other value you can say for the default. So if you, we can select that as well. So once we select custom field dot default value, we can select say that it is kind of text field, and the length is 6. I'm going to put the 6 number pin code, which is just random pin code. That's it. So as we have made this as external ID, so we'll quickly get back to our field. We'll select that as a external ID, unique, and then a required. So this is case insensitive. So we can just say and go to there in our custom field, find that for saying case sensitive, we will say false. It is not case sensitive. So that is how we prepared our fields with the required. Instead of putting hard codes as a required, we can put some variable here. We can say boolean required. So now for the required, it is going to be required. For the external ID, it is going to be the external ID. For the unique, it is going to be unique. And then for the case sensitive as well, let's quickly create one more parameter, and we will pass as case sensitive, so that we can control all the information about a field with the help of the variables inside our methods. So now we have created a method which is controlling everything. So what we will do is we will quickly go ahead, call this method which is create fields. Okay, so these are all we have got, and then we'll try to create and we'll see if there is any error that we're getting, or we are successfully able to create the field. So we are getting some error. The data type is number, incompatible with expected data type text. This is because of some default value. So we'll say let's remove this default value. For now, we are not sending any default value, and then we'll try to execute it again. Yeah, this time we were able to create the field. We'll go to our object. We will refresh this, and as soon as we'll refresh, we'll find that field is here, which is zip code. If you go here, if you say that is required, it's not unique, not case sensitive, not external ID, not default value. Okay, now you wanted to have a field which is external ID. Okay, instead of zip code, I can say let's quickly name that as external ID as well. It is again required true. So it is external ID, it is unique, and it is case sensitive as well. We can just go ahead and execute it. And once we are executed, we got that it is opening debug log. We can again try to go back to our object and see if there is any additional field which has been created. Yes, it has been created. The again the length is 6. It is external ID, it is unique, case sensitive, and we can just go ahead and check all these details, the description, help text, everything. So that is how you create the field. Now you might wanted to create some field which is a type of number. From here you can find selecting a field which is number, right? So for that, what you need to do is first you need to check that field, what are all the kind of information that you need to provide. So you can just go to select number, and then it is going, now this time it is selecting length and decimal places. These are the two additional things that you need to provide instead of while we were using text. So if we go here, we can just try to find out what are those additional fields. So this time we don't need to provide the length, but we need to provide the precision. Okay, that is this part which is saying that decimal places, and then there is a length which you need to provide. The length is again either it is 18, which is maximum, so you can use that and then create the field. So let's quickly try to see that if we can create. I will say precision, and instead of that I'll just quickly say I'll try to again create a new method which is going to create a number field. So it is create field and say that create number field. So number field can also be used as external ID, can also be unique, can also be required. So that is what we are not removing these parameters from our method that we had just created. For the case sensitive, which is we are going to remove from here, and we are also going to remove this default values as well. For the length we already have. The only thing that we need to put here is we need to say that custom field dot precision, which is again we can say 2. Okay, so it is 6 and 2, and the type is number, and we have just created the field. Now the thing that we need to see is we need to use here, we can say instead of external ID, we can now say there is one variable that we have removed, which is case sensitive. We're just removing that variable. And then the field API name, we can say course number. This is what we have got, course number. Okay, like this. And then we will just execute this. So there is some error. It is saying that field method is not valid. Yes, that's correct. We need to change the method name here and execute this. So again, we got that error, cannot specify length for a custom field type number. So for the number field, we need to set precision, which is we can say 6, and then we need to set the scale. There is a field for number field which is a scale, so we'll say scale, and it should be 2. So precision is something which is going to define the length, and then scale is something which is going to define the decimal. So now we will create that field. So we got this field has been created. It is going to open a debug log for us. We will quickly cancel this, and we will be able to see that there is new field which is course number, which is 4 and 2, external ID and unique. So that is how that is something how we are going to create this field. There is one thing that you have noticed, number options, which is saying that length is 4, decimal places is 2. So the reason for that is we have set that scale to 2, and then the precision is 6. So we, if you wanted to have the 6 and 2 combination, it should be 8 and 2. So it is going to minus the number whatever we have given for the scale. So that is how you can create the fields using custom metadata. There are a few different types of fields like master detail and lookup, and then picklist field. We are going to see how we can create those fields into our next lecture. Thank you.